Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Coaster Spotlight. And today we have an awesome assortment of coasters created by our patrons. We got a lot of variety in today's episode, so be sure to stay tuned and let's check them out. All right, welcome everybody to the first edition of Coaster Spotlight 2.0, which is the bundle spotlights. This so happens to be a Patron themed bundle, so you're getting a mixture of everything, but in the future, we're going to be moving into themes, such as Western, fantasy, sci-fi, etc., and these include all blueprint coasters, and we'll be doing this for rides as well, and if you go to submit a ride or coaster, you will see some new options in the submission form, so check that out. Links are down in the description below. So if you guys are new here, be sure to smash that subscribe button and leave a like if you enjoy these videos. Also, be sure to come join us on Discord. It is now open to the public. Link is down in the description below. You can enter and you don't need to own Planet Coaster. However, in order to rank up, you still will need to open Planet Coaster. So we're working on some changes there, and it's a positive improvement. And as mentioned earlier, this is a Patreon episode, so if you do become a patron, link is in the description as well, you will get spotlight priority over the 1,000+ submissions that are sitting in my inbox. The way I'm going to structure this going forward, the first batch of recordings of every single month are going to be Patron submissions. Now, I'm obviously going to stagger this out, so it's not patrons for the next week because we have a little bit of build up since my absence on the channel. Now, everybody gets featured as a patron. Doesn't matter what rank you are, you can be bronze and still get a feature. The only difference is the higher your support for the show, the sooner you get featured. So bronze patrons would be last in the lineup. That's pretty much how it works. Also, supporting the show via being a patron is just very helpful, and it allows me to continue doing these videos for you guys. So whether or not you want a feature, I still do appreciate your support, and you will get put into the credits at the end of all videos. And you can also chat with me in a nice little Patron private server on Discord. Boom. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's dive right into our first creation, Eastern Diamondback, created by Hyrix Nexus, one of our Discord builders and golden patrons. Thank you so much for your support. And here he says, a new predator arises from the oasis, a place of beauty and awe, based off the well-known dangerous and poisonous snake called the Eastern Diamondback. These snakes are mostly found in eastern states of the US. After 2 days of hard work, I have completed the coaster I feel proud of. Eastern Diamondback is a single rail basilisk coaster with all green stats. Just warning you, you'll need to do some terraforming, which is labeled and can be deleted easily. The queue is also labeled with instructions, again, easily deletable. Johnny, thanks for everything you have done for the Planet Coaster community. I am honored to be a patron and look forward to continuous amazing videos. Keep up the good work. It will pay off. Any critique is, of course, welcome. Maybe you can see things differently that can help me grow in my skills. Sincerely, Hyrix Nexus. And that is exactly why we do this show. We try to give improvements where we can and help people with their visuals here and there, and it's also just fun to show off all these amazing creators' work. So there's a pretty long description. Let's take a closer look at the coaster. All right, take a look at his ride stats. This is a single rail basilisk, as he mentioned. Look at this, all green stats, very nice. And there's a look at the rest of the results if you want to see them. And let's delay no further and get on this coaster. Before I forget, he left this, so it says 5:45 p.m. is the desired time. So we're gonna do that. All right, very fun creation by our builder, Hyrex Nexus. There's another look at it from the blueprint view, everybody. Now, I do want to touch on the coaster a little bit, but we're going to come back to that feedback at the end of the episode once we've looked at the other coasters. But just touching on the aesthetics right now, I think the nighttime lighting is really nice. You've set it to us for 5:45 p.m. And for those wondering, I will do day and night when requested or when it's suitable, but for this particular coaster, he chose this time of day. So that's one of the changes to the formats going forward. We're just checking out the POV and maybe night. No more cinematic in 5 different perspectives. Nice little sign there, as well as one out front. So really good theming overall. For me, the blueprint is pretty big considering how small the coaster actually is, but I think once it's put into a jungle theme, it could work quite nicely. But yes, it is a very large blueprint for a pretty small coaster, but I think the on-ride experience was very immersive with all the little swamp areas and stuff like that. So really good job there, Hyrex Nexus. Keep up the good work, my friend, and let's check out the next coaster. Next coaster is Contort, created by Daniel 2010, one of our, an unranked builder, apparently, according to this form. So there's obviously an issue with your registration, Daniel. We need to sort that out, but he is also a golden patron. Thank you so much for your support. And here he says, Contort is a coaster that goes around through the few skyscrapers. The coaster was a challenge for myself to try and create a rideable modern coaster with the all custom inversions and using no in-game pre-made pieces. I think the end result turned out great. For the best look, use terrain pathing to make the ground asphalt. Hope I can be featured soon and would really love the feedback on how to improve my building skills. Thanks for all you do for the community, Deanna. Oh, I made this issue in the past. It's Deanna L, not Deanna. Daniel. Okay, there it is. Let's take a closer look at this. So quick look at the ride stats. We have a winged launch Cloud Runner coaster, and here's a look at the ratings. Not the best stats in terms of game simulation, but a strong effort here, and there's a look at the rest of the results if you guys want to see them, and let's test out this coaster. We got a bunch of things to talk about. Let me pause this so I can think a little bit. Now, first of all, I want to mention that I made a couple mistakes here, but I still left it at 545. Still getting used to these bundle spotlights, guys, but I feel like that was actually the best ride experience. And holy moly, was that coaster long. At daytime, you're going to notice some of these hard edges and aliasing a little bit more. I think it stood out at nighttime because of those lightings. We had the techno music. We had the cars with the lights at the bottom. So I actually think that lighting was the best setting to ride this coaster. Now, I want to commend you on your effort to create a coaster without any of the pre-made pieces. So you definitely got a lot of organic turns and inversions. So really good job there. Now, I also did say this was a winged launch coaster, but check this out. It's actually been car swapped to the Werewolf, the stand-up, or no, it's the floorless corkscrew train added to the winged launch coaster. So that's a nice little trick for anyone wondering that you can swap out the cars. Normally, if you pick a torque launch coaster, you're stuck with the torque car or train. But if you go with the winged launch, it'll allow you to swap out a lot more car types. As you can see here, you have a lot of options. Pretty much any of the corkscrew type coaster trains or giga coasters are all listed in there. So very cool there. Now, in terms of your theming, I see what you're going for. The coaster through the city is very, very hard to pull off, especially in a 4K blueprint setting. So let's take a quick look at your overall part count, which is 4K. And, you know, you ended up getting essentially five little buildings, and it didn't leave you much for aesthetics and theming. And when you go inside of a building like this, it kind of breaks your immersion because there are no buildings in real life that are just empty like this without any floors. So I probably would have approached it more about wrapping around the buildings. And honestly, no, my entire approach would be a park file for this. Try to build a wonderful cyberpunk style futuristic city. And if you're going for modern, try to look at some images online of actual downtown city areas and try to construct that park. Now, I did forget to get the asphalt paint, and your suggestion was to use pathing, but I guess rock would have worked here. So sorry about that. That would have made a slight improvement. But yes, if you see this in a park setting and you have streets, you have people, you have sidewalks, and there's, like, you know, all this stuff happening, you have traffic lights, signs, bulletin boards, all the works there. Then when you start wrapping a coaster around it, I wouldn't go through unless you actually do like a bottom floor lobby interior and the coaster just like passes by through it. That would be actually really badass. And, you know, like a shopping district with a coaster going through. Some shopping malls have coasters built into them, so I think you could get away with that if one of your buildings was a mall type building. Yeah, I think that would just be overall better because you have unlimited part count to work with there, and you know, full reign. In terms of a blueprint, I highly recommend against going with these modern buildings and stuff. I've seen people try it time and time again, and it just does not work when you're limited to 4K pieces. But I think it's a very strong effort overall from Deanna, so keep up the good work. All right, that's gonna do it for this coaster. Let's check out our last coaster of the day, which is gonna be Snake Charmer, created by one of our legend builders and Missy Goods, the one and only Floss, who's also a golden patron. Thank you so much for your support, Floss, as well as all the help you do in the community here. You are much appreciated and well loved by everybody. So she says here, hey Johnny, finally getting around to submitting this coaster I made back in November. A group of snake charmers heard of the mystical tune, one that would do amazing things. Excited they studied the ancient scrolls, asked the locals, and finally uncovered the piece of music scrawled in the desert just out of town. What they didn't expect was all the snakes from far and wide came to listen to the charming music and overrun the town. From the spot where they found the tune, a huge cobra emerged from the sand. It's a single rail coaster, 2-part blueprint. The second part is just the snake. I put guides, but doesn't need to be exact. There's some wiggle room. I have to say it. A wonky wonk? There's some wiggle room with the wonky wonk. There is also a walkway through the middle of the coaster footprint leading to the restaurant. Follow the arrows, take off, angle, snap, and smooth. Boom! She added a boom! Boom! I love it. Gotta love the stories that Floss creates with all of her creations here on the show, always including some aspect of storytelling, and I absolutely love that. So we'll rant more about this after. Let's take a closer look at the coaster stats. All right, here we are with the heavy hitter of the day, a single rail Basilisk. Any train swaps on this one? Better check. Nope, standard Basilisk coaster. We have a 7.3, 5.23 fear, and a 1.4 nausea. Green across the boards. Really nice duration on this, and really good results. There's a look at them if you want to see them for yourself. All right, let's delay no further and get snake charmed. Woo! Good googly moogly. Love the way those eyes light up at night. Look at that. And it's kind of brilliant that you have a Cobra roll going around, well, a giant Cobra. I was actually praising, I want to say it's Jock. Jock did a similar thing with a Cobra theme, an adventure theme, and a Cobra roll going around a Cobra statue. I believe that one is going to be covered by Synchros in the near future, so keep an eye out for that. But I did check it out, QA it, and take a look at Jock's creation, who is definitely an up-and-comer in this community. But look at that nighttime lighting. It's so soft, it's so subtle, but it also has vibrant tones mixed in there as well, with the brighter peaches, the softer yellows. I mean, it all comes together just so wonderfully. That coaster is loud. And then the daytime, let's take a look at this at daytime. Look at that. So now one thing to point out, you know, she put these basic shapes in here as a path guide, but it also works as a color. I think the purple actually works really well here. I think that was intentional, but it actually works really great for me because I'm not setting these blueprints up for guests anymore because people have complained about the flailing arms in the past. So what's the point in setting up these coasters if I'm not going to let the guests on? So, and because we're featuring 3, it just helps things move along quicker. So without that there, it kind of looks all holy. It's missing spots everywhere. So yeah, but holy freaking moly, look at the snake tail on this. Like, it just wraps up so well. How you figured that out, how you put that together is beyond me. And just the stripes. I mean, that is incredible artistry by Floss, as always. And the fact that, you know, you are able to make both a smooth coaster and a amazing artistic polish on top of it. You bring it together always, and it's just so amazing. So this is a separate blueprint, and the link is down in the description below. When you go to download it, it'll ask you to download part 2. So if you just want to put this snake in your park, you can do that, and it's definitely worth having in any adventure park. But I would also say, you know, this coaster is just so worthwhile as well. So links for all these coasters are down in the description below, guys. Go give them a rating if you enjoyed them, as well as smash the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Oh yeah, before we go though, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this coaster because I wanted to talk about the track design. So it's interesting is with these blueprint spotlight bundles, we can draw comparisons between the 3 coasters, which actually helps me provide feedback. Whereas before, if I wanted to say something, I didn't exactly have an example on hand. So this coaster is a good example of using some of these preset pieces, whereas this one is not. It's all organic and, you know, has a little bit more pull, whereas this one has like that static kind of inversions. You can see it creates almost like a blocky shape. It's not very like organic and twisting. So with that, just the preset pieces, I still think it was a smooth coaster overall, and it was still fun. But I would try to draw comparisons to what like Floss has done here. She's done a mixture of the 2 of these. So you have, you know, your standard Cobra roll that comes with the game, but then and then a standard version there. But then we have these crossovers, and it crosses over, loops back around. If you just were to, you know, use the preset pieces, it would come out looking kind of like that. But what Floss has done is she's kind of pulled things around, created her own shapes, tied things back over and around, but still used, I want to say 1, 2, 3 presets? 4. So yeah, 4 preset pieces, which is fine, but then the rest is all organically pulled, turned, smooth, banked, all that stuff. So it's a really good combination of these 2 styles, and that's kind of why I put them here today. Now, in the future, if we do have patrons, I'm gonna try to fit them in with 2 other creations of their theme, so we can keep the running theme going. But right now, coming back after being gone for so long, we have a pile up of Patron submissions. I'm gonna get those out together in priority bundles. So this episode did turn out a little bit longer than I anticipated, guys, because I had to explain things. This is the first bundle spotlight. Not to worry, we're still gonna have the single spotlight episodes here and there, but we're keeping those for the park files and the massive exploration coasters, such as your Blue Heims, your pixelated coasters, etc., etc. Combat Wombat, you guys get the drill. But the blueprints are going to feel much better together because I can theme them and I can draw comparisons in terms of feedback, and it's much more rapid fire. We get to see more coasters, which makes a more entertaining video overall, and it means that we're going to get a lot more submissions out to you guys, and that means your chances of getting featured has just gone up. And with the help of synchros and possibly more, that means we're just going to be cranking out the creations. That's just more positive stuff for everyone. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below, everybody. Join us on Discord, get your submissions in. We need more blueprint spotlights so we can bundle them in themes, and be sure to check out my Patreon page if you want to skip ahead of that priority line and get featured. Be the first coaster of the month every month. Even $3 goes a long way, and that will still guarantee you a spotlight. So there you go, everybody. A great episode here today from a mixture of different styles of builders and ranks. Really great stuff here. Hyrax, Nexus, Deanna, and Floss. That's going to do it for me here today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye now.